Here today to talk about the property market in general in Vietnam. In the past months, we've seen some very good activity in various sectors, particularly at the minute the Ho Chi Minh City condominium market has seen some recovery, and particularly a lot of activity from a buyer's perspective. We're seeing a lot of building constructions completed, and we have seen a substantial increase in the handover condition or the completed condition of many projects, which has then flowed on into sales and really quite good sales activity. So we're seeing the Ho Chi Minh City condominium market performing well, Hanoi market not performing as particularly well. The condominium market in Hanoi is still oversupplied. There is still a lot of projects that are not drawing to conclusion. And we're also seeing a lot of projects in Hanoi with very slow construction progress. This deters buyers. And in Hanoi particularly, we're making recommendations to developers where they need to ensure that there is good construction progress. We recommend the developers in Hanoi to ensure that their facilities and their amenities are completed on time. And when they do finish the facilities and amenities, we are starting to see sales activities. Hanoi market's also interesting from a retail perspective. Hanoi's seen very strong downtown retail rents. Our core areas around Hoan Kiem Lake and really our prime street front locations are seeing rents sustained. We're seeing some rents in the vicinity of 120 to 200 US dollars a square metre, and that hasn't varied much over the last 1 to 2 years. Similarly, in Ho Chi Minh City, the retail market again is as strong. We're seeing shop houses performing well. We're seeing also retail centres and obviously with a lot of activity, particularly around the Vin Group retail projects, particularly the recent consortium purchased by the Warburg Pincus Group. So we're seeing that there's a lot of confidence in the retail market, particularly from overseas investors, and we are of the prediction that merger and acquisition market will continue, and particularly in the near future and most probably into the long term. So that's a real upside for Vietnam's retail sector at this time. The office market in both cities is still in flux. We have seen the Ho Chi Minh City office supply stabilise, whilst the opposite has happened in Hanoi. We are still seeing a substantial oversupply of office space, and we've seen a decline in most office rents, particularly in the CBD and non-CBD locations in Hanoi. Alternatively, the Ho Chi Minh City rental price, or the asking price, has stabilised for downtown Grade A and Grade B buildings, and we predict that this will continue. If not, we should see maybe a slight increase later, in the 2013, maybe 2014 period. So I think there's some good news for the office market, particularly in Ho Chi Minh City. Other sectors of the market that we are seeing some interest in is particularly the merger and acquisition areas. We are seeing a lot of overseas investors eyeing off Vietnam as an opportunity. We are seeing interest particularly in assets that are performing well, particularly those that are income producing, and we have seen quite a few movements in that market with some very large acquisitions recently. And again, I think the Vin Group's most probably a very good example of overseas buyers or investors looking at Vietnam very strongly. So I think that's, again, a really good news story for Vietnam. We're also seeing the hotel sector and even the serviced apartment sector, I suppose, still stable. There's not been a lot of movements in average room rates. Serviced apartment rents, again, are fairly stable, particularly over this last quarter and really over most of last year. So we don't see, again, a lot of movement up or down in both sectors, but we do see a good stable market. Right now, we're seeing obviously real estate firms and a lot of talk in the market about struggling in what is a very competitive and perhaps a very difficult market. Companies like CBRE, we have diversified. We are looking at other areas of expertise, and I can certainly report our consultancy and our research departments are working extensively with developers to rethink their projects, and I think that's again a very strong positive for Vietnam. We are seeing developers looking at projects where back in 2009, 2010, what they proposed back then is not working today and certainly not meeting the market. And where developers do meet the market, they are seeing some success, and we're seeing some very good projects recording very strong sales rates at this time. So whilst the market is difficult, and I know there's a lot of talk about the market being frozen, but whilst it's still volatile, I think it's starting to warm up a little bit. And again, I think that's very positive for Vietnam. I don't think we've been able to say that for quite some time.